morning, everybody. This is Jonathan Harmon and Brett Garner of the J Harmon Home Team here with my new buddy and Brett's old buddy, JT Cooper of Service Guys, plumbing and various other things as well. So I've been hearing lots of stories about this guy, and I'm really excited to meet him and hear more about him. He wanted a Coke, but instead I got him this craft soda, and so he's been kind of making fun of that, which I get that. It's got a little kitty cat on it, so you like kitty cat soda?
No.
But we're here at Carpe Cafe, one of my favorite places. Ron Alley was here just a minute ago. He left. They're headed to Pennsylvania. So
see Becca.
Yep. So anyway, hope everybody has safe travels this week. But it's Thanksgiving week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Lots to be thankful for.
Lots to be thankful for. And want to hear some of your story, JT, and I know you've got a lot to be thankful for and a pretty cool story to share. Kind of, how did you get here? Like, how did you get to Service Guys, owning a business, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, that's more than a 30-minute video.
Well, summarize it. Give us a Reader's Digest version.
The cliff notes are: I was born in Jamestown, joined the Army. I was a member of the 10th Mountain 214 Infantry. We were part of the Black Hawk Down mission that became a movie.
Mm-hmm. You were in the rescue part of it, correct?
I was in the rescue part of it. We went in and got the Rangers and the down pilots, and I got a Purple Heart, combat wounded vet. My roommate was killed. We ended up losing 18 Americans that day.
Wow.
And 2 of them were close to me. One of them bled on me. And I had some re-entry problems
Sure.
when I came back.
Understandable.
Anyway, my mom asked me what was going on, and I couldn't articulate that. And that bothered me because I couldn't tell a story. So, sometime later, down the pike, it became a goal of mine to figure out how to put it into words, and that led to songwriting for me.
Yeah.
And I came to Nashville in 1998 to be a songwriter, change the world, tell a story to those who could tell it for themselves, and find a way to heal myself.
Sure.
But that came through music for me. That my new battle became finding a way to tell the veteran story, where it's not just about me. Where I can, a song is popular because everybody can relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can buy into it, and it can be about them, or they can find that connection point. So when I write now, I try to find a way to help my mom, who has no combat experience whatsoever, kind of understand some of the things that we go through as veterans, and some of the things that we've seen and done, and some of the struggles. But in doing that, I've learned that I can help other veterans through that musical process. I work with an organization called Operation Song, and we'll go in with Nashville songwriters. We'll do like a Friday afternoon guitar pull, show them what we do, and then on Saturday morning we get up and break off. After breakfast, we break off into groups, and then we help them write a story about everybody's got a war story. Everybody's got a song in them.
Sure.
So what we do is try to help them open up and start telling that story through a song, and that way they feel validated enough to feel like they have something to share with life. Because the biggest thing about veterans is when you're a part of something that's bigger than you, and then you come home, watching parts roll down an assembly line for $12 or $13 an hour is never going to fill that void of knowing that at some point in time in your life you were a part of something that was much bigger.
Yeah.
And to find that service, and General Boykin calls it the transcendent cause. You got to have that transcendent cause that's bigger than you, that makes your life feel like it's valuable. So when we've done that in a battle, you've got that guy on your right and your left that would die for you, and you would die for them, even though you may not always like that person. But you know, in that moment, you can count on them in life and death. It's hard to find that walking the street.
No
It's
doubt.
hard to find that in a job where everybody's trying to bite each other's back to get ahead and play.
It's hard to find that in friendships. I mean, it's hard to find that anywhere.
Any walk of life. Yeah. There's a special bond.
And when you felt that, the number one thing that a veteran misses is the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, when we get out of that armored personnel carrier, when we get out of that helicopter, they're trying to kill the captain, the lieutenant, the sergeant, the private. We're all in the same boat. It's the most common equalizing ground there is, because everybody's in the same boat. And it just, when you get out here and then you come home and, you know, there's the manager at the company and there's this guy at the company, and everybody's got that pecking order set up, and it's got to be that, the Army's got a pecking order, but at the end of the day, we're all fighting the same bullets.
Right, especially on the field. Yeah.
And that's one of the things about leadership. That's what my company is called, the Service Guys. And our unwritten motto is, if we serve God, serve each other, and serve our customers, we can help be great. The Bible says, let those who be great above you first serve. Now, I don't know if this is a preaching moment or not, but
Perfectly fine. I agree.
our core value is, I may be the boss, but I'm going to get in the ditch.
Yes.
If I have to get in the ditch, I don't need you necessarily. But at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to get in that ditch with you, because I'm going to do what I've asked you to do. I'm never going to ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself.
Or haven't done yourself.
And haven't done
I've
myself.
seen you in that ditch.
And I'll crawl into the house. I'll go do whatever I got to do. But at the end of the day, it's my job now to run the business. So if I have to do that because you didn't or won't do it, or you didn't do it right, that's what
It's specialization. It's having parts.
trying to teach that honor system,
Yeah.
and that trying to teach those core values is why we succeed as a company. I mean, I made it through the recession, and with a wife and 5 kids, started a business, and made it through the 08, 09 downturn in the economy because we took care of our customers.
That's right.
And we compete with big companies too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just helped. I was on the Veterans to Elect Bill Lee committee for governor. Bill Lee runs one of the biggest plumbing companies in the state of Tennessee, and he came and asked me if I would help him with his bid for governor. And at the end of the day, one of the main reasons I got in it was that I agreed to help is because in 15 years of being in business, not one time was there ever an integrity issue when it came to bidding against Bill Lee, working against Bill Lee. I mean, you hear all these horror stories about other companies and how they've ripped somebody off and they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Or, you know, we all are going to, when you run a business, there's always going to be some blowback.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, in 15 years, I don't have one horror story to tell about Bill Lee.
Right. That's
That-
impressive.
I mean, you go to the plumbing house, and a lot of times my guys get approached, and people are like, "Hey, are you happy with your job? You want to come and work for us, or this, that, the other?" Bill Lee's one of the only places you're never going to hire one of their guys away from him on the counter,
Yeah.
because they love working for him,
Yeah.
and that's important to me. One of the reasons I'm in business, I want to work for somebody I can respect, and finding that ability to work for somebody I respect led me to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and being an employer that was an employee and coming up that way, I understand that employee mindset a lot more than the people who were just handed something by their dad.
Totally understand that, and that's how we run this business as well. I mean, Brett started working with me in February, and brand new, and everything that I've ever told him to do, I've either done it already on multiple occasions, or I'd do it right there with him, or if he leaves, I'd take over, but it is a matter of, okay, if you were doing this job and now you've got somebody else doing this job, what is your next job in order to move that company forward.
Well,
And so that's what I'm looking at now.
The number one thing I tell my guys all the time is you got to teach. You can't move on and move forward until you've trained your replacement.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And at the end of the day, until you train your replacement, so you're there for a need. So until there's somebody that can fill that need behind you, you've got nowhere to go to next. And those people who go somewhere next are the ones who can teach.
Yeah.
Because we always are supposed to be moving forward.
Yeah. We got a couple comments right now. Bobby Waldron said, "Thank you for your service." I don't know if you know Bobby or not. Apparently, my dad knows you. Tom Harmon is my dad, and he said, "Hey, JT."
Hey, Tom.
So, anyway, that's scary that you guys know each other.
You know, I've learned that it's a small world.
And it gets smaller every day, doesn't it?
It's huge. I mean, when I joined, I'll tell you a small world story. I joined the Army. They picked me up in Jamestown, Tennessee. The recruiter picked me up in Jamestown. We came through Crossville. We picked up a girl in Crossville. And we drove to Nashville and joined the military. On the way back, I was aggravating her, as I'm prone to do. And I asked, what did you sign up for? She said, I signed up to be a medic. And I said, cool. And she said, what did you sign up for? I said, the infantry. And I started teaching her about getting her sponge bath skills up. It's like, you're going to be a medic, you're going to have to learn how to do sponge baths. And so I'm just aggravating her. And we kind of had a little fun. But being from Jamestown and being from Crossville, you'd think we might know each other, but I mean, we're 45 minutes away, different high schools, but in the same general area.
Right.
It's the first time I'd ever seen her. So fast forward, I'm in the Army hospital in Mogadishu, Somalia, and I come out of a little deal, and there she is.
No way.
Wow.
She recognized me when they brought me in.
Literally halfway around the world.
And the next time I saw her was in Mogadishu.
Wow.
And then,
that's crazy.
It's my mama. At that time, Blackout Down was a big deal anyway. But at that time, when it was on the forefront of everybody's mind, it was in all the newspapers and this, that, and the other. Well, my mama from Jamestown, Tennessee, was getting newspapers from Portland, Oregon, because somebody had a family member in Portland that lived in Crossville that had their family look up my mom in Jamestown to make sure she got the paper that I was listed in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
I got put in some AP stories, and anybody from any newspaper or TV station can pick that up.
Right.
And so these people, before Facebook and all this other stuff and stuff going viral, people were sending stuff to my mom from all over the country where I was in the AP. And they felt important enough, they wanted my mom to have these newspaper clippings from all over the United States. So,
what year would that have been?
93, 94.
Okay, I was going to guess 92, so yeah.
She also got them when I was in Haiti. I don't know why I always ended up in an AP report somewhere. Somehow they took a picture of me. I was a 60 gunner, so I was always, I would say photogenic, but I don't know. Well,
your gun was anyway.
Well, all right. Here's. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw. He said, "Gun."
Yeah.
My gun. This is my. But anyway, last week
you kind of do stand out in the crowd though too, JT.
Well, hey, look. Let me just tell you. There's some things that happened for me. Last week, a week and a half ago, there was this viral post that went it went viral on Army WTF. And there was a guy in Murfreesboro died in a nursing home. He was a veteran. Nobody had claimed the body. And it ended up getting like 5,000 or 6,000 shares. And they were just basically making an announcement saying this veteran was going to get buried with no family. And if the public wanted to come to make sure he didn't get laid to rest by himself. Okay? 50 to 70 people tagged me. Every time I open my Facebook, it's like, JT, is this in your area? JT, do you know this guy? JT. So from all over the country, these people were tagging me in this viral post. And finally, I shared the post. I said, I'm going. Quit tagging me.
Got it.
So it's in Pegram. It's an hour and a half from my house, but I win.
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there, and I'm videotaping the hearse drive up because they had the Patriot Guard motorcycle riders. So it's always a cool sight to see that.
Always.
So I'm just standing up there videotaping the hearse drive up to the little chapel where they're going to have the service. And the hearse driver gets out, and it turns out to be the funeral director from the funeral home. And he said, "Hey, are you my pallbearer?" And I said, "No, do you need a pallbearer?" And I'm just standing there with my phone out video. And he said, "Hey, are you my pallbearer?" And I said, "No, do you need a pallbearer?" He said, "Sure." I said, "How many do you need?" And he said, "You got 3 or 4 friends." So I grabbed Gerald Hill and a couple of my buddies that I had drug with me to this funeral, and we become the pallbearers. It ends up getting picked up, and I start getting messages from Phoenix, Arizona, New Jersey, New York. I'm on the cover of the FoxNews.com webpage, and it's this picture of these 200 people that showed up to make sure this veteran wasn't buried alive. And I'm the picture of us carrying him out, and I'm the front pallbearer. Because they put me right there.
You're like freaking Forrest Gump, man.
You just show up everywhere.
It shows up.
It just shows up everywhere. So now
He's gonna play football for Alabama.
hey, what do Tennessee and Alabama fans have in common? None of us graduated from Alabama.
That's true.
What do Alabama fans and tornadoes have in common? Eventually, they all go through a trailer park. So there's my Alabama joke. There's my Alabama joke.
We're trying to keep this PC, but anyway, bless your heart, JT.
Bless my heart.
Now it's all okay.
Okay.
One of his best friends is from Alabama. So.
Yeah,
Well,
but she's an Auburn fan, so
She is an Auburn.
she's an Auburn fan.
I love college football. I think that's the last chance that people have to love the game.
Yeah.
Because once you get into the pro side of it, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
my only sport, really, and I'm a college football nut. I just love college football, and that's my deal.
I'm taking it you're a UT fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even through the bad
Even
years.
painfully.
Even painfully. I remember when I was a kid, I had this shirt that ended up getting lost in the wash because I wouldn't ever take it off. My mom, it just had holes and got nasty, and finally it got lost in the wash one day. But it said Tennessee's got a drug problem. I mean, Miami's got a drug problem. Tennessee drug them all over the field.
Right.
And it was like the Sugar Bowl from 1984, 86 or something like that. And I wore that shirt till it literally was in rags, and my mama just lost it in the wash because.
So I'm an MTSU fan, like an actual MTSU fan, and I am that jealous little brother kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much don't like UT.
That's okay.
And one of my favorite shirts that I ever saw, it was an MTSU shirt, and it says, I wear this shirt because I went to MTSU, and then it had a UT symbol, and it says, you wear your shirt because you went to Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
We got off the subject.
We did a little bit.
But I've been in Nashville. I came here to write songs and decided I like to eat.
Right.
So I ended up
A lot of good
getting a
food.
trade. I needed to make more money than sitting around waiting on a cut to hit the radio. So
I got you.
I got into the plumbing business kind of by accident, but at the end of the day, it ended up, being the God's call for me because I'm good at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have met you otherwise.
That's right.
Well, and it's it's an interesting thing. You brought up the topic about getting into a trade. I used to teach high school, and I taught economics and business management, and then I also taught car stereo installation. And I would tell especially the kids in the car stereo, the mobile electronics classes, I said, look, people have lied to you. I said, everybody thinks that you have to go to college in order to be successful in life. And I said, that's just plain not true. And, I have a lot of friends that are teaching now, and we're seeing such a lack of talent and work ethic in the trades that, your stock is going to continually go up because there's nobody replacing you.
Well, that's true. Hey, even ISIS wouldn't hire a liberal arts degree.
Right.
You know what I mean? and building things has always been thought of as working with your hands as subservient.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the next generation of wealth is going to come from those who can
do
build
it.
things.
Yeah.
That has you know, what are you going to do graduating from college with $150,000 to $200,000 in student debt with a liberal arts degree, and you have a hard time getting hired at Walmart?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you're overqualified.
because you're
for
overqualified.
that. Yeah, but you're underqualified for everything
For
else.
everything else, because you don't have any skills.
No experience.
And the skills part of it, is paramount, because we've all got to find. I mean, regardless of what the economy is, people still got to pay to live.
Yeah, they got
Regardless of the economy, they
fix
still
their
want to be
car.
hot. They still want to be cold in the summer and hot in the winter.
fix their cars
They
and
want to turn the light on every day.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just telling you, if you've got the work ethic and you'll show up every day, businesses are ran, and I tell my guys, I tell my kids, businesses are ran by people who show up.
Yeah, that's
Businesses
exactly
are ran
right.
by people who do what they say they'll do.
and don't have an excuse every time that you ask them to do something.
And you know, running my business, I try very hard to never tell somebody I'm going to do something that I don't plan on doing.
That's right.
Now, life happens. Okay, I had a guy the other day whose work truck died on the interstate. The contractor was expecting us to be there at 8 o'clock that morning. This guy sitting on the side of the interstate waiting on a record. I called the contractor. I didn't wait for him to call me and say, hey, where the hell's your guys at? Hey,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be here. I picked up the phone and said, hey, look, my guys are still coming. We'll get there. We're
Running
broke
late.
down on the side of the interstate. The record's on the way. I'm going to go get them a U-Haul. We're going to move their work tools over to the U-Haul.
And so that's
We're going to
well. Here's the thing: you did what needed to happen, right? So it would have been so easy and so common for you to say, "Truck's broke. Sorry, we ain't coming," or "We'll be there when we get there." But instead, you said, "You
We
have
have
an
a plan.
issue. We have a plan. We're going to implement the plan," and then you did it.
Well, most people in this world today, and this aggravates me to no end, are reactive instead of proactive.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's the wholesale business all wrapped up in a nutshell.
If you want to succeed in life, you have to challenge life. You can't react to life. And that's the thing. If you plan to succeed, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's always been one of those things. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You gotta have a plan. You gotta work the plan. You have to adjust the plan. Some people are so galvanized they can't adjust the plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes Nick Saban a great coach. Is no matter what, at halftime, you know that guy's going to go in there and adjust the plan.
Even if he's up by 35, 50
I mean,
points, whatever. Yeah.
They beat Florida State 2 years ago in the opening game by 17, 18, 19 points in the opening game of the season. Big deal because all of them were ranked. It was like both of them were in the top 10 or something at that game time. They went in there and just destroyed Florida State, but it was only like by 17 or 18 points. And at the end of the game, they interviewed Saban, and they're like, "Hey, great win, coach." He said, "Oh, it wasn't. We got a lot of damn work to do."
Yeah.
He won,
Right.
but he knew we have a lot of work to do.
But and here's the thing.
Yeah.
One thing that impressed me with him, this is 3 years ago, I guess it was, when MTSU played, and I forget who it was the week after us. It was a big game, maybe LSU or something like that, right after us. And after the game before us, he's in the press room or whatever, and the interviewer's like, "So looking forward to LSU," or whoever it was, what are you guys going to do with this and that? And he goes, "Whoa, we got another game in between there. MTSU's no slouch," and like he starts listing off stuff like he had already been studying, and he's like, "We can't overlook them," and I mean it was like, so that's the other thing. Part of that plan is there's no, even the small challenges,
Right.
even the small
There's no
challenges,
gimmies.
you got to have a plan for it. By the way, Jerome Dempsey is giving you crap on here. So
Jerome Dempsey.
he says the legend, and he says he's better at flushing toilets than singing. So yeah, that's rough right there, man. So good.
That's okay. He just went to school and got a degree. He doesn't know how to do engineering for sure. He just knows what looks good on paper.
He's got a piece of paper. That's right.
He can draw it, but he can't go put it in.
I mean, you do have a couple of CDs. I can see them right here on the wall.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
I like
okay.
Jerome.
Thanks, Jerome.
That's funny.
So your passion. Let's get back to some of that.
My passion is veterans. The 22 a day, and trying to keep it down to zero.
Tell us more about 22 a day. I'm familiar with that, but share it with the audience here.
Well, the numbers average out to 22 veterans a day commit suicide because they can't re-enter.
Yeah.
I spent 8 months in a one-bedroom apartment, and every day of that 8 months it was on the table. Mine was for survivor guilt. I didn't know why I lived and Jimmy died. Jimmy had a wife to come home to. His wife had just had a miscarriage while we were in country. Right before he died, she had a miscarriage. I didn't know why I lived and he died.
So it's a why me, but not a why me, oh, my life is terrible. It's a why me, like
why,
why was I more
why
important?
was I spared?
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
That was my big takeaway. And then Cornell Houston was bled out. I was holding him. He had a sucking chest wound. His blood's all over me, and I'm trying to get him back to the medics to try to keep him alive. We kept him alive for 3 days. He got to Germany and died of an infection, and there was just nothing I could do about a damn infection. We kept him alive with the sucking chest wound.
Wow.
We kept him alive with the loss of blood, but he ends up dying of an infection in Germany.
Yeah.
So he's one of those that he died within that week. Most of your history books will say we lost 17 during Black Hawk Down, but we actually lost 18 because he died a couple of days later.
Yeah.
But somebody put it. I can't remember exactly who it was now, but it's always stuck with me. People don't want to commit suicide. People that commit suicide don't want to die. They just haven't figured out how to live.
Wow.
And
Pretty powerful.
For me, my mission, and as a veteran, the number one thing we lose is I think we have a lot of problems when these guys come home and get 100% disability, and they feel like there's nothing left for them to offer because they can't go be a warrior anymore. They, in the military, every day, they tell you what to do. Somebody always answers to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that next mission.
They tell you what to wear. They tell you what to eat.
When to shit, all that stuff. When you get out, nobody's giving you. When you used to be a soldier that answered orders, there is a disconnect when you have to give them to yourself.
Yeah.
And like I said, the number one thing that I won't take credit for it. But it's not that they want to die, it's just they don't know how to live. They don't know what the next mission is.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so finding that, for me, has always been about service. And that's why my company's called the Service Guys. That's why we picked, it's actually TSG LLC, but the TSG stands for the Service Guys.
Right.
Because if we serve God, serve our customers, and serve each other, we can't help it. So that's the premise of what our company is. But for me, the mission is serving my community. One way, plumbing business is how I make money. It's not my passion. My passion is veterans. My passion is music. And trying to connect those worlds most of the time. Whether it's going to a retreat and helping the veteran write music or going out here and doing a show. Every time I do a show, I ask 3 questions. How many people here know who Amy Winehouse is? Yeah. How many people here know who Robin Williams is? Yeah. How many people here know the name of one person who died for your freedom? You know, and I'll get a couple of hands in the crowd, but it's crickets.
Yeah.
There's no yelling, no screaming then.
Yeah, that's a sobering.
So then we come out and we do Coming Home, or Jet Lag and Nightmares, or I do one of those types of songs. And I don't care if I ever have a hit record, I don't care if I ever am number one on Billboard. It will never be as great as that person walking up to me at the end of the show with a piece of paper and a pen. You know, you might think they want your autograph, but I've learned now to know that when they come up to me with that paper and pen, they don't want my autograph. You know what they want? They want me to write down the name of my friend so that they never again say they don't know the name of one person who died for free.
That's awesome.
That, telling the story for those who can't tell it for themselves, has become my mission.
That's awesome. That's very
And at the end of the day, as long as I live, Jimmy Joe will live.
Yeah.
As long as I live, Cornell will live. I'm going to keep telling that story for them of service so that the next generation just might connect enough to get it.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's awesome.
And so those are my picks. That's, you know, I do music not to glorify myself. At one point, yeah, I want to be a star. Everybody in life, they say they didn't. But for me now, I realize that I'm more powerful when I'm telling it about the veterans than trying to promote me.
Yeah.
When I have articulated that to where someone who's never strapped on their boots and went into a firefight can relate, you know, into the valley we live with, fighting on the underpaid. For the life we choose, there's no regret when winning the backseat. Stories come and stories go, but the only ones who ever have walked the path and met a man and stolen their life from his death.
Wow, that's strong.
With each victory, there is a cost. When something's gained, something's lost. Should this be my final breath, Lord, may I die on Warrior's death. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's getting in the damn truck anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not afraid, you're not alive. And that fear helps you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about it is that fear is what we lose touch of when we're thinking about suicide. Because we're just numb.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It does. So, several organizations are around that are helping veterans as well.
I work with Operation Song.
Mm-hmm.
We do music. I work with the Soldier's Child,
Mm-hmm.
and we support. We support the children of the fallen.
Mm-hmm.
I work with Warrior Outreach out of Fort Benning. They do equine therapy with vets that are coming back, and when these vets come back and they're having trouble or they're having family issues, they can bring their kids out and bond with their kids and playing with the horses.
That's awesome.
There's so many things that you can do if you just get up and go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about starting an organization. It's not about having just like this, the 21st of December. Me and Sonia Noblet and Eric Warren and a couple of us, last year we just decided that we needed to take stockings to the VA hospital and pass them out for Christmas. So how do we do that? Well, we called the recreation coordinator, told her, hey, look, we got some musicians that want to come play some songs for these guys and bring them some stockings and have a little Christmas party. Sure, come on, anytime, you know. So it's not an organization, but last year we passed out 80 Christmas stockings. This year we plan on passing out 150. And,
Perfect.
And have 5 or 6 people come in there and do music, and we spend a couple hours with these guys, and we clean up behind us, and come in and set up a little party for them, have a little Christmas party, have them clean up after the Christmas party, get them back where they go, and just go in there and say thank you. I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as handing them an orange.
Well, just that says your
We're
value.
thinking about you.
Yeah.
I've got 2 or 3 teachers that are going to make cards, so they're going to make Christmas cards for these vets so they can decorate their rooms for Christmas. I mean, the pitiful thing is some of these guys don't have any money.
Yeah.
And you know, sad, true, some of them have been estranged from their family, and they're not Timmy anymore. They're not Johnny anymore.
Yeah.
They're that, you know, in our society today, I don't know, we missed when Jesus called the disciples, he changed their names because they was to be thought of as a new creature. The Indians, who never read the Bible, when kids went from childhood to a warrior, they changed their name because now you're to be looked at differently.
We don't do that.
We don't honor that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I go home and they still want to call me Timmy. I'm JT. Everybody who knows who I am today knows me as JT.
Yeah.
Jesus said that only in his hometown is a prophet without honor. Because they still remember him as Timmy.
You know, that's interesting. I've never thought about that, but I know several folks that have joined the military, and when they came back, they went by something else. Like, you know, maybe they had been going by a middle name, now they go by a first name or whatever. And a guy comes to mind. His name's Charles, and all of his family calls him Mickey, and I know him as Charles, but it was at that point when he came back from the military, you know. So I've never thought about that.
Separate that too.
Yeah.
It helps us understand that
Wow.
I don't have to hold on to Timmy. My mission is now JT because that's who I am now. I'm never going to be Timmy again.
Right. You've seen too much, done too much, been.
So trying to hold on to that becomes an issue too.
That is fascinating. I've never thought about that.
Somebody did want to help with your stockings. To donate some items, what are you looking for and where can they take them?
Yeah.
Well, what we try to do is get like little sundry items, like little travel shampoos, travel soaps, toothbrushes, toothpaste, a pair of socks. But, you know, these guys, it's simple.
Yeah.
It's something. I've got a couple of ladies that are crocheting little blankets to put over their wheelchairs. Anything you want to do to love on a vet, we'll take. You can come by my office and drop it off. My office is a collection point. There's a cake shop in Murfreesboro. I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head, but there's also
Burrowtown Cakes or Julius?
Burrowtown. Yeah.
The one right there on the square.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a collection point.
I'm interviewing them next week, as a matter of fact.
It's nothing elaborate. You know, last year we collected 30 or 40 of them little handheld poker games so that they can pass them from room to room or leave them in the day room. But it gave them something to do inside their hospital room.
Yeah.
But, you know, there'll be Halloween type candies, peppermints. We're going to stuff the stockings the week of the 21st with whatever we get. And then if somebody has special requests, you know, if we get in there and we see some vets, we'll probably follow up the next week and take some stuff that they've asked us for things that they didn't get or things that would help them.
Yeah.
You know, I think last year somebody donated a couple of cases of those like little individual cereal packs and like the Fruit Loops and stuff. They just sit there and eat them like snacks, those kind of things. But the one thing that the staff has asked us to do is to make sure that all the food that we bring in is labeled and manufactured, packaged, and not home-baked foods because they don't know what's in it. Dietary issues with nuts and peanut butters and stuff like that. We just need to make sure. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts gave us a bunch of donuts and we took them in there for the party. And there was a couple of things of Kroger cookies and that kind of thing. But the homemade stuff they worry about because they don't know who made it. And honestly, they can't vet that.
Yeah.
And even if it's the best intentions in the world, and it's your grandma's pie that's so good, they don't know what grandma put in it, and they don't know that we have it. They're protecting the vets.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So, as much as some people like to bake, and we've had a couple of women who wanted to bake cookies and stuff like that, we just can't take those in there.
But JT likes them.
I'll always take it. Like I said, I like to eat. But it's not an organization. It's just a bunch of us veterans that want to love on other vets, and we're just doing it. So any of this stuff if you want to get involved, we're going to be at the rec room right beside the auditorium from 10 to 12 on the 21st.
Okay.
And reach out to you, reach out to me. There'll be some holes to fill. If somebody don't know what to do and they just want to make a cash, I can't give you a receipt.
Right, it's not a 501c3.
It's not a 501c3, but at the end of the day,
Who cares?
I don't.
Right, I got
So
it.
I've got people that have given me some cash to put towards it, and just at the last minute, we're going to buy whatever we need left, and we'll take a couple of cases of fruit that we buy the day or before, and that way they have oranges and apples and that kind of stuff for the holidays.
Very good.
Very cool.
Well, man, what about show? You got a show coming up soon?
I've got some writing appointments, but I'm really not going to be doing much until after the first of the year.
Okay.
So, but I'll get back with you on that.
I will tell you, here at Carpe Cafe, there's a couple of your CDs over here on the wall.
Yep.
That somebody wanted to come and check that out.
I donated those, and the money that's raised from those goes to Carpe.
Good. So, if you're not familiar with the Carpe Artista
Coffee house.
well, Carpe Cafe and Carpe Artista, kind of the mission, it's pretty fascinating too. I need to get Ron on here. I can't believe I haven't had him on here. But that's a pretty cool organization. So
Using your talents to impact culture for a positive reason.
that sounded important.
That's what Carpe Artista sees the artist.
Right.
And using your craft, whether it's I support them a lot.
Yeah, I'm a
And
big
Ron's one of my mentors, but they're trying to use your talent. They're trying to get these kids that have art, music, acting,
fan. I say it's all of them, right? Musical, performing arts, visual arts.
visual arts, and impacting culture positively and giving them something to do besides games. Besides, you know, we have our rock camps and stuff for these kids to kind of keep them out of trouble, give them something to shoot for, and then show them how to use their talents to not necessarily just be Hollywood.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, very cool. JT, it's been a pleasure, sir.
I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad to meet you.
Glad I got to see you again.
I feel the love.
Little bromance going.
Yeah, well, that was uncomfortable, but that's okay.
Oh,
man. Oh, on the bald head. Gotta love that.
Hey.
If you have any questions for JT, and we're going to put the service guy's contact info in there as well. So if you need any plumbing over the holidays, JT is primed and ready.
Shut down over the holidays.
So appreciate you very much and appreciate all you do. And if you have any questions about any of the organizations or any of that, let us know as well. And guess that's it. Appreciate you, man.
I really appreciate you.
Are we good?